Howdy, howdy, everyone. Welcome to Inside Russia. Thank you for coming and joining this live stream. My name is Konstantin, and I am updating you on what is happening in Russia. Update. I have a very interesting topic and an invitation to following discussion for you today. I bet I'm going to open your eyes on many things that you haven't experienced or you haven't even heard of, thought of. And I'm going to be talking about immigration. Not immigration, emigration. In Russia, people mistake emigration and immigration very often. Emigration is when you leave your country, you emigrate, you leave. And once you are settled in a new country, you become an immigrant, okay? That's immigration. I'm talking about this part, not that one, but this emigration. Well, without further ado, let's jump right into it. In the last few days, the situation in Russia has been heating up. And I've released quite a few videos, and live streams were quite, well, feisty, if that's the right word. A lot of people suggested I would leave Russia. A lot of people left comments after the live streams or trying to advise me in live stream chats. Anyway, the number of suggestions, recommendations, or advices I've seen probably in hundreds. And I understand what you are trying to tell me very, very well. I understand. But I would like to discuss today whether emigration is a godsend or a personal tragedy. And this is going to be my message. You see, I'm an expert in immigration. When I was 20 years old, a green, young, inexperienced young boy, I just packed up and left Russia for the United States. Ended up staying in the USA for 9 years. I'm an experienced immigrant. I learned the language. I finished school. I became a professional, a respected member of local community. I consider myself completely assimilated into American culture and American life. I have added lots of value to American society. I've been there. I've done that. I'm an expert. Then I moved back to Russia, but didn't stay there. Spent 2 years in Uzbekistan and close to a year in Ukraine. So I got even more experience. I got to see even more countries, more cultures. I can't say that I assimilated into Uzbekistan, but the culture was very close because we have old same ancestry, the USSR. Same about Ukraine. Russian didn't have to assimilate in Ukraine. Same cultures, same language, same everything. In the past. Can't tell about now, but in the past, it was like that. So, more experience, more expertise. And I'm going to tell you what a person who decides to emigrate, to leave country, and seek something new far away, goes through. I bet you have not had any experience emigrating. Even if you spent some time, some years abroad, I bet you weren't forced. you made a conscious decision. A lot of you are from the United States and Canada, a lot of you from Europe, Western European countries, with democracies, and you did not have to, you were not forced to leave to seek, to run for your life. So, you most likely don't have this experience. Now, immigration. There are two types of immigration. First is economic, or in Russia, people rudely call it the sausage immigration. And the second type is forced immigration. Now, the sausage immigration is fairly clear, transparent, and understood. A person living in a country, in a society, wants to change something, and he or she seeks new life, seeks better life, wants to improve her life. Usually, a person thinks that grass is greener on the other side, and in some cases, grass is greener on the other side. And person packs up and leaves and tries to build a new life in a new place, pursuing goals, and usually financial goals, wanting to increase living standard. Well, that immigration is not easy. Immigration is not easy, okay? Not any, like, no kind of immigration is easy. And the sausage immigration, the financial immigration, is definitely not easy. But a person who wants to leave a country has an advantage, because usually it takes time to plan. Immigration, sausage immigration, does not happen overnight, does not happen in a hurry. A person makes a decision, and then usually he or she has long time, months, sometimes even years, to actually emigrate. The success of immigration isn't planning. The more planning a person does, the better chances that in a new country, in a new place, that person will succeed. That person will, find himself or herself in a new place, so to speak. And the advantage is usually there is a lot of time. Like I said, there's time to actually learn about the new place. Come up with a plan. What are you going to do in that new place? Perhaps get a new profession, new trade that is in demand there. You have time to find a job. You have time to pick a place where you want to live, a state, town, climate, in general. Perhaps if you have kids, you will have a chance to pick up the search and find good schools for your kids. Okay, learn language, hugely important. So, sausage immigration is a very lengthy process, and many cases are people actually happy when they leave and they go to a new place. Not all. I have seen both type of cases. I've seen happy people and unhappy people. But mostly in the United States, I saw happy immigrants. They gained so much more that they left behind in their homelands, home countries. So I assume that first type of immigration like that into different countries is also happy, more or less happy for many people. So this process lasts a long time, And there's a lot of preparations, a lot of support. You sell all your properties, you save up money, you go to a new place, and then you don't start with zero, so to speak. You already have an advantage. This is decent, the right kind of immigration. Now, there's the second type of immigration, forced. You see, time comes when you understand that you gotta run. If you don't run now, tomorrow might be late. I never experienced this type of immigration before. I know that people ran from the USSR. I know that a lot of political immigrants seeking freedom, basically freedom and better life, free society, seeking happiness in a free society. But I never had that experience. You see, I can't call myself a sausage immigrant, but I was a curiosity immigrant. I was very curious. I wanted to try something new. I wanted to live in America. I loved America even before I came there. So I had that kind of experience. I had planning. I didn't come to nowhere. I already knew where I was going to go to, where I'm going to live, and so forth. But when you have to go in a hurry, that's completely different story. And from now on, I want you to put yourself into the shoes of people who I'm going to be talking about. Kind of project the situation upon you. And later, when I turn on the comments, you let me know how you feel and what would you feel. And would you like that or not? Okay. Imagine that. You are, well, let's say, I'll talk about myself. I'm a middle-aged man. I have family. 3 kids live in with me. I'm a well-established professional. I have a good job. Well, at least I still do. My first language is Russian. I live here. I have family, immediate, extended, friends, colleagues. My circle of communication is, I would say, 100 people, give or take, a lot. A lot. I have so many people I talk about on daily basis. And I own property here. I know this place inside out. I know the culture. I am a leader here. Okay, I have confidence. If something happens to me, I know where to go for help. If something happens to my friends, I know how to help. I feel very, very comfortable. And, I'm talking about myself, but you can place any other person, any other Russian who lives in Russia. Okay. I feel very comfortable living in Russia. No problems whatsoever. Up to this point, I haven't been forced to leave the country. Well, something comes up. Suppose everything is fine now, but let's say tomorrow something comes up. And all of a sudden, I have a very short notice. Someone calls me up and says, hey, you gotta go, you gotta leave now. When? Like tomorrow, or day after tomorrow. And now, again, think about yourself. What would you do? I have kids that go to schools, university, kindergarten, school. I have friends, I have colleagues, I have work responsibilities and obligations at work. I have life, bank accounts, social security, everything here. I have cars. Again, I have property, family, friends, everything. My life is here. I am a tree, and my roots are deep down inside earth, Russian earth, local earth. And all of a sudden, I have to pack up and go. First of all, if I have to go, Go where? Not one single country is really expecting me, waiting for me. Moreover, every single country is very hostile towards immigrants. If you think the United States is taking immigrants left and right, oh, you should think twice because you simply have not experienced that. There are very few conditions on which you can enter and stay in the United States legally, okay? But before you apply for a certain program or anything like that, you must get to the United States. To get to the United States, you must have a tourist visa, at least a tourist visa. And that is not a very easy thing to get right now. Russians are simply not granted visas. 95% out of 100 that an average Russian who wants to get a tourist visa will not be able to, because you'd have to travel to a very remote, exotic location, cost tons of money, wait for a few months, and then the chances that they're going to deny you are very high. So how do you get to the United States? How do you get to England? How do you get to Europe? How do you get to Australia? I mean, what other countries you can go and immigrate to? Once, even if you get to the countries, what are you going to do? You are not prepared. Okay, you most likely don't know the language. You have no clue what kind of job you're going to have, where you're going to live, and so forth. I mean, you left in a hurry. You run for your life, right? You have your kids with you. Most likely you don't have any money because Russian rubles, well, you can withdraw them, right? But you cannot exchange them into American dollars or any hard currency. It's simply forbidden by Russian laws right now until mid-September. So most likely you are penniless. And most likely your credit cards or debit cards, none of financial tools that you have in your own country that work fine, none of them work in a new country because Russia is sanctioned and Visa and MasterCard are not servicing anything that is issued in Russia any longer outside of Russia. Even if you get to the country and you apply for political asylum, let's say, where are you going to go? Where are you going to live? Just think about it. You need to go in 2 days. Let's say you live in America, you come to Russia. Where are you going to live? Which place are you going to pick? You have no one in the country. You don't speak the language. You don't know how things are done. You are completely foreign to the culture. You're alien. You don't know anything. Your kids, your wife, they look up to you and they expect actions from you. At this point, they're dismayed because all their life has been put upside down. They feel very stressed. You all are stressed. You're all freaking out. And you're not feeling well because you know what? You are head of the family, okay, the husband, and you have people who depend on you and you have responsibility. But what are you going to do? Complete uncertainty, okay? Even if you settle the score with the new government and you're granted, a permission to stay and work in the country, how are you going to make living? You don't know the language, or even if you know the language, you still speak it with very thick accent. You're a foreigner. Where are you going to go and where are you going to rent apartment? You don't have no credit history. No one knows anything about you. You have a large family. You have very little money. What's going to happen to you? Now, even if you make it to another country, you start hurting. Inside of you is like a fire and it's burning everything because, hey, you just canceled your life. What you had worked for decades, everything that you had achieved, everything that you had saved, all your property is left. You don't have time to sell it, right? So you just forfeit. Basically, you leave it, but it's going to be either confiscated or taken or something's going to happen to it. It's not accessible to you any longer. Everything that you had saved for, worked really hard, is gone. You feel like it's not a good feeling. So you already have stress from canceling your old life, and then this stress is added of you don't know how to begin your new life. You are uprooted, but you just don't know where you are being, like you taking yourself, where to plant roots. Is this a good place or not? Will you have to leave and move further, down further, or are you going to stay here for life? All you have is questions, questions, and questions. And besides your own questions, your wife comes and she looks up to you and she has a silent question. And the kids ask you, Daddy, where are we going to go to school? What are we going to do now? And you just don't have answers. My friends, that is a personal tragedy. Okay? Let me tell you my personal experience. A couple months ago, I flew to Uzbekistan. On about 2 hour notice, someone called me and said, hey, gotta go. It was in the afternoon, and I booked the tickets. I went to the airport. As I was taking a taxi to the airport, I called up my friend, my best friend, lives in Tashkent, and I told him, hey, I'm going to be at your place in 6 hours. I'm flying out in a couple hours. Don't ask any questions. I just need some help settling in the place. I'll explain everything later. I didn't ask him, oh, can I stay in your place or can I come? And no, he's my best friend. We have that kind of a relationship. I don't have to ask him. I'm just letting him know that I'm going to show up at his door in a few hours. The question he asked me was, what would you like me to order? A pilaf or kazan kebab when you arrive? Okay, and I really appreciate my friend. I showed up. I didn't have to do anything. He took me to places, showed me around, find an apartment for me, set me up with a new local cell phone, bank account. It's the whole 9 yards. And I felt like I was really blessed. But you know what? I am an exception. Because most forced immigrants, people who emigrate, they don't have friends in the countries that they go to. They don't have anyone to take care of them. They are on their own. What is the best case scenario is that the government of the country, the authorities, let them in and say, okay, for some time or for good, you can settle in our country. But then after that, so to speak, after you step out of the customs house, the passport control, you're on your own. And if you're if you're not young and if you have family, you know what? You lost your life. Forget everything that happened before. You start from scratch, from zero. You're a green of the boat, an empty piece of paper, sheet of paper. And basically you have to start all over again. You have to start building up your life again. And you know what? If you're like 45, 46, that's not a good feeling. That might lead to serious mental problems, depression, traumatic disorder, just not so great. A lot of people get themselves together and keep on going, but it's really, really difficult. So some people telling me in the comments, oh, that's easy. Just get up and leave. Come to the USA. Well, no one is expecting me. It's you don't understand how difficult it is to get to the United States these days. No one is waiting for me at the door saying, "Hey, Konstantin, come over." Or Australia, or I don't know, New Zealand, or Great Britain. They're not saying, "Oh, come on in," open door for you. No, it's nearly impossible to get there. And once you get there, your life that you build your everything, all your friends, all your family members, all experiences that you had, all the network, the contacts, they're left behind. So, my friends, I think that the first type of immigration, the sausage immigration, in search of better sausage, so to speak, that's how we call it in Russia. That's actually a very interesting, very pleasant, very nice experience. I suggest that any young person does that. Not necessarily the United States, and not necessarily for good, but for a few years to travel around and see how other countries live. What are other cultures? What are other societies? How they live? What kind of laws they have? What kind of morals and ethics? That's incredibly useful for a person to grow, okay? And then you don't have to stay there. You can come back to your country like I did. That is a great kind of immigration. But if you're forced to leave, if you leave your country in a hurry, if you run for your life or for your freedom, I consider that is a personal tragedy. And I would rather not do that. I would rather stay at home and not ever, ever to go through something like that. And my friends, world is becoming a very volatile place. And you are seeing more and more forced immigrants in your countries. And I want to ask you something. I want you to send good wishes and to pray for people that you meet on your life journey who are forced immigrants. Perhaps they're your neighbors. Perhaps they just passerbyers. You see them, they come and go. Perhaps they're your colleagues. Every time you see a person, do not just see an immigrant. See a tragedy, a personal tragedy, and an incredible spirit, because every person who succeeds after forced immigration is an incredibly strong person with an incredibly strong character. And I personally salute to every single person like that. So if you meet a person or a family like that on your way, help them somehow. Only if with saying something nice, greeting them, praying for them. I'm not talking about money or anything like that. Just be nice to them. Appreciate what they had to go through. Because forced immigration, in my eyes, is a personal tragedy. I would like to turn on the comments, and I would like you to let me know, how would you feel if you were forced to leave your country and go to some other place far away, on a dime, basically, in a couple days, in a rush? Please let me know, what would you do and how would you feel? Thank you very much. This has been my message. Turning on the comments, and I'm asking everyone to use the common sense. Just be nice to me, be nice to moderators, and be nice to one another, please. Mommy is number one today. Reese Gray, howdy howdy. Susan, we won me. Lorna, miss me. Kyle, E2QNX, blah blah, something like that. Joni, Golden Griffon, Martin Stum, Brian Woods, Bruce, Jorg, Donna Olson, Well, usual suspects, thank you very much for coming. I'm very glad that you could make to this live stream and to the live chat. Thank you so much. Great to have you here. And Donna, thank you for the first super chat. You actually bet Reese. Reese was numbers 2. Wow. This does not happen often, let me tell you. America is a melting pot of the world's immigrants, and I feel so blessed to have grown up in SoCal, surrounded by all of them. Donna, and you're absolutely right. When I lived in America, gosh, that's gonna be a long stream. I have so much to say. One of my first, well, when I first came to the USA when I was 20, I was in a state of awe and shock. I couldn't believe what I was seeing around me. And the most incredible thing was the international student community. Students, young kids just like myself from all over the world, and immigrants in Davis, California, all over the world, from Colombia, from Mexico, from Europe, from Australia, Japan. I only had read about people like that in books because Russia, that's where only Russians lived, right? And all of a sudden, I was exposed to this great melting pot, and I was absolutely amazed. So, Donna, I totally agree with you. A fantastic place. I think this is the best country in the world, and you live in the best place in the best country in the world. So you're really lucky. And you know what? I bet that Beverly Hills. I just passed through Beverly Hills. I've been a couple times to Rodeo Drive, but as a tourist, not as a local. I bet that Beverly Hills is the best in Los Angeles, that is best in California, that is best in the USA, that is best in the world. So you're like so lucky. Wayne Carmichael, thank you so much. Welcome. It's been a long time. Great to see you. Things have changed. I sent you the cup. Remember, I hope you still use it. If I didn't, I would not be able to send it anymore because that company is out of Russia, unfortunately, So, great to see you. Reese Gray came number 2nd. Hello from Canada, Mr. Popular. But you know what? That's still great. You're still right there with Donna. I wish I could tell you to leave, but I don't know where you'd go. I wish I could ask you to stay safe, but I don't know how you can other than being silent. Just be you. Thank you so much. That is an amazing suggestion, advice. You're absolutely right. I don't know where I'd go, and I don't know how to be safe. And I certainly am not silent and will not be. Just being myself. Thank you so much. And there's another super chat from Piggy Maximus. Thank you. Hello, friend. Thank you for documenting these interesting times. I immigrated from Lebanon to USA, Virginia, had family support, and still took me about 1 year to adjust. My heart goes to anyone forced to leave that country. Oh, my friend, you know what I was talking about today, Piggy. You lived through some of it. Yes. If you want me to notice your comment, so please put it in caps. Otherwise, there are little chances. Martin says you can apply for political asylum in the Netherlands. Comes with free housing, benefits, and education. I don't want free housing. I don't want benefits. I don't want education. All I want is to be able to be a good member of society where I fit into and work. That's all. Okay. You must learn Dutch within a year, though. Martin, I've been to Netherlands. My wife Natasha has been to Netherlands. Fantastic country, fantastic. But I just don't feel like I would feel there at home. I did in the United States, but Netherlands, it has its own ways. The Dutch are fantastic people, but you have to adjust. You have to become something, well, at least that I am not, okay? Brian from Los Angeles. Miss me? I would feel lost. I did feel lost many, many times when I lived in the USA. This feelings came in like a roller coaster. You go up and you go down. And sometimes when you're up, everything's fine. But sometimes you go down and there's nothing you can do. You just start missing your old life, your old country. And I didn't have to, I wasn't forced to leave, I made a conscious decision. But still, there are moments like that when you just go down and oh my gosh, that's just not a good feeling. But then you pick up, you pick yourself up, you stand up, and you just go forward. That's all. Frank in Texas, Just Terry, howdy, howdy. Dominikas, hi Kostya, a lot of Ukrainians are now immigrants in Lithuania. I can see their struggle. I know they're struggling. A lot of my friends are immigrants in Czech Republic and all over Europe. And not only I see them struggle, I know how they feel. I don't even know because they left much worse conditions than I did when I was younger. Sean, thank you so much. The degree of our success defines the size of our chains. You've been very successful. Michael concerns me most. Me too. And my biggest hope for him and you, Natasha, the best guiding stars he could hope for. His future affects us all. Big hugs, my MU Kikma. I'm sorry. I missed that, friend. Sean, thank you so much. Spot on. You're spot on. Michael concerns me the most, and Dasha actually too, and Oля. Things that are happening, have been happening. I can't even tell you. Okay, some things are too hot, too dangerous to touch, Sean, I really appreciate $100 super chat. That's much needed and much appreciated. Thank you. Faith Russert, many Americans actually descend from people who had to abandon their countries. Yes, they do, but you know what? If you're 5 or 6 generation, then you really have very little with those people in common who had to run like 5 or 6 generations before, John Wakamatsu, thank you. I know many people who fled their country due to conflicts. Let's pray for them tonight. Scott, Constantine, what prompted you to discuss this topic? Yesterday. I had quite a few questions yesterday, and if you remember in yesterday's stream, I kind of started telling about immigration. And this is a very large topic. It's very voluminous. You cannot just cover it by answering a couple questions. So that's what I talk about things I'm bubbling about. There's so much of them inside of me. It's just they spilling out. And then immigration is one of them because it's the talk of the town. Even in my live streams, even in my comments, people like, oh, just leave. First, assess and think about what a person who lives in a hurry as a political immigrant, fleeing, running for his life, what he goes through. And don't say it's easy, okay? Oh, just leave and you're going to be fine. Dave Strains, howdy from Illinois. Pleasure to have you. Magnus, hello from Sweden. Howdy. MS Sneaky 42 from Cincinnati. Beam, it's not that easy, my friend. Life is not black and white. Dominicus, talking about Usual Suspect. It's great film, 95. You oughta watch it. Dominicus, I know it by heart. It's one of my favorite movies. Most of my favorite movies. That's where the Usual Suspects phrase actually comes from. Buddy, howdy, howdy, our friend. We hear you torment. Well, I'm actually, you know what? I'm not being tormented. Not as much, at least, about this topic. About other things, yes, very much. I understand that there are so many other people who are tormented and who are in trouble and who are fleeing, running for their lives. And gosh, you all know Maria, who was in this chat, our usual suspect. She didn't miss one stream until February 24th, and then she lived right in downtown Kiev. Her mom Svetlana and her son Valentin, should pray for her again. Mohammed Kadir, thank you so much. Hello from Sweden. I'm a doctor in Sweden and have taken care of some Ukrainian refugees. The stories are horrifying. Please forgive us. What can I say? It's horrifying to read this message from you. It really is. Very saddening and horrifying. KWNY Upstate, you might emigrate quickly or wake up and find that your country immigrated from you overnight and you're simply disoriented. Similarly disoriented. You know what? And you're right. And if you think it's easy to make the decision, oi. You just sit and you wait and you have circumstances, think it over, and then you weigh the options. You talk to it's crazy. Sharon Bartlett, thank you so much for $50. Appreciate, much needed and very appreciated. Thank you. Cornwall, UK. Liz, hello. Jenny, how? I'll be darned. Is it buffering? Very strange. Anyway, if it's gonna be keeping on buffering, just let me know. I hope it hasn't happened much. Jan E, thank you so much, my friend. Thanks for support. You crowned Miss Olsen. Liz, I'm ashamed to be British today. Don't be. Don't be. This, you know what? This is, I don't know how to say it in English, right? It's not a big deal. It's not the English people, it's just one guy. David Dave, California welcomes all. Yes, that's true. Alan Medina, how do you see the American economy in 10 years? Strong. I see troubles ahead, but I see America overcoming because I have faith in your country, and I know the Americans. I know the foundation that a country is built on. You see, your country is a house, and every country is a house, but your house, your particular house, has very strong foundation based on huge boulders. You can't move them, you can't touch them, okay? Even if you have fire in your house, okay? Even if some things burn or the entire roof burns down, that's okay. You take out trash, you get new materials, you fix everything up, paint it over, but the foundation is untouched. It's gonna be there. So in 10 years, America is going to shine. I am absolutely sure about that. David Coley, $20. Thank you. Terrifying to go to a place with unknown language and culture. Stay strong. Protect your family. God bless. Thank you so much. But you know what? At the end, God forbid, but a moment comes when you actually must. You have no choice. All your fears of going into a new place, no language, it doesn't matter because you look behind and there are people with handcuffs or machine guns standing there looking for you, and you just run and you try to get away, and when you nothing matters. Okay, once you go away to a safe place, there you start worrying about new culture, new language, and everything else. But I just wish that none of us and no people have this moment happen in their lives, because that's a life changer. Marilyn, I can't even imagine being forced to immigrate. I know, most of you can't. You haven't even thought of it. Let me know. You probably haven't thought of it. This is a completely new foreign alien idea to you. You're probably wondering right now, gosh, what would I do? I have no idea where I would go. Yes. Mohammed Constantine, well, you will give us new update on government rules on foreign companies. Not today. Not today, my friend. Perhaps one of the later streams. Island Home 3, Key West. We have had years of people escaping Cuba. It's very sad. I know. I've been to Cuba. Trust me, it's a place worth escaping. Oh, USSR only worse. Alan, I have local news. My state government signed a $1.2 billion bill for out water issues. Well, good luck with that. Exploring with Zuinos. Howdy, howdy. Island Home 3, thank you so much for the super chat. Couple bucks. Every single dollar counts on this side. Thank you. Garage boy, listen to me. Get out. Take only what you can carry. Get out now. Well, message is received. Thank you. I mean, that's a serious message. I'm not laughing or anything. This not a laughing matter. Not laughing time, definitely, Sandy, feel so bad for you? Don't. I'm not in the worst position in the world. I am surrounded. You see, one of the mods, there's so much to talk about. 15 minutes extra. Can you pull that off? Sandy, I'm actually very blessed. I had one of the streams a couple months ago, and the stream was the miracles that happen around me. I actually feel like the God is helping me a great deal, protecting me, and guiding me. Because I have not really bad in a dire I have not been in a dire situation with no solution. Even something bad comes up, always a few things that care, I see the gods care. For example, I had to go to Uzbekistan, right? Gosh, he gave me my friend. He gave me his help. He guided me. I was actually okay there because my friend brought his friends and they kind of took me in. I had a fantastic time there. I accomplished what I needed to accomplish. Everyone was helping me, and this is how I always feel. So I'm okay. I'm okay. Larry Paris, hi from Michigan. Great message. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Same to you. Tracy Madura, Las Vegas, sends love and prayers. Viva Las Vegas. David Day, what happened in Britain? There's a scandal and Boris Johnson just resigned. Oh boy, Russian government is all over it. You see what kind of guy he is. You see what messages he's been sending towards Russia and blah 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 blah. They don't have any shame, you know. Susan Gitz, I was blessed to be a construction manager years ago. I had a crew of illegal Mexican immigrants and later a crew of Russians that came with work visas. That's interesting. Sandy Grainer, thank you so much. Sometimes better to stay where you are and send the country in the right direction. And sometimes it definitely is. And sometimes you just cannot. Because if you stay, they come with cuffs and machine guns, and you're going to be done in hours, sometimes days, sometimes weeks, and you have to run. Guy L, I am in shock. Reese Gray has been beaten to number one spot. Reese must be upset now. Angry. Dave Strains, having to leave my country on the spot like that would be like being stuck in a bad dream. Exactly. That's exactly how it feels. There's no right answer. And you're right, there's no right answer. It's a personal choice, but you're exactly right. It feels like a bad dream. Liz, thank you so much for £5. I was talking to my daughter today and wondered if a finger has been pointed. Look, democracy. Oh, storm, not Liz, not just one finger. It's been a storm about everyone and his brother out there, laughing, ridiculing, sarcastic, and so it's actually I'm ashamed to see that. People have decency, you know. Just before looking someplace else, look in your own yard. Martin Stump, but you must work. Yeah, I got it for like becoming political refugee in the Netherlands. Stephanie, you definitely are silent with the rules in your stream, also for subs. Didn't quite get it, I'm sorry. This chat is for subscribers. Everyone can see that, but only subscribers who have been subscribed for at least 2 hours, they can leave messages here. Yes, that's the rule I have. Gabby, I have successfully immigrated from Brooklyn to Seattle. No good bagels here. Brooklyn is actually a pretty cool place. I wouldn't want to live there, but a melting pot like no other. Brooklyn is a place like no other. Different cultures. Oh my gosh, true melting pot. You know. Philip, at 79, I can't imagine any kind of immigration. Understood. Dominicus, would you immigrate to Belarus? Never. Belarus is even worse than Russia. Cogs, both my grandparents had 15 minutes to pack their bags and escape from the Nazis to Alaska. I was gonna say I know how they felt, but no, I don't know how they felt. I hope I will never know how they felt. Respect to your grandparents, you know. I know what happened to them after they got to Alaska because I gone through that myself. Okay, but that's not a piece of cake. Uh, Stuzar 84 becoming reality is already is. Lloyd, hi from Minnesota. I feel for you. You and you are my prayers. Thank you so much, Lloyd. I appreciate it. I would like to thank CP that I have family and all around the world. That's all. Photo 4. Understood. I didn't get the answer. Lorna Mommy, what about 15 extra minutes? I guess I gotta scroll down for that. Hey, there's a birthday boy or girl, Galaxy Rider. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Galaxy Rider. Happy birthday to you. By the way, if any of you has a birthday on a day of a stream, well, eventually, there will be birthday of every usual suspect and everyone who's on the stream. Please let me know. I'll sing you a song and everyone will cheer. Cogs, perhaps Alaska will be an option if the locals vote to be back with Russia. Yeah. Being smart there. Paula McDonald, howdy, howdy. Kathy, sobering, grateful to my immigrant grandparents. Regards from Phoenix, Arizona. Well, let me tell you something. If you are immigrating like that, leaving your country, running or just running like or looking for a better life or more money, whatever, it definitely is not boring. Whatever it is interesting. It's like being in a boxing match and trying to dodge punches thrown into you, and some punches go through, and then you're just like hurting, but you get up and you keep on going, things like that. So that's definitely not boring. Exploring with the Zunos, thank you so much for $5. Appreciate it. Sandy Grinder. Oh yeah, I saw that already. Bob S, I see okay here. Thank you so much. So we're gonna stay a little longer. Jan Allen, always try and find the silver lining in any situation. That's actually very good advice. Sometimes, even in the darkest moments, a small light shines to guide. And you know what? I would like to continue to further that. If you find that the situation you're in today is dire, absolutely terrible, the end of the world, tomorrow or a week from now or a year from now or a generation from now, it might turn out to be a blessing in disguise. So your message is well taken. Thank you. William Handy Jr., trust in God, keep walking forward. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support, and thank you for the message. That's message is right here in my heart. I do that no matter what. That's one thing that never lets me down. Remember the Beatles song Back into the USSR? Well, I remember the song, yeah, very sad. That's I don't have to remember, I'm just singing it all the time. Marsha, moving from Chicago to Tennessee was a massive culture change, good and bad, but an adjustment, and I'm pretty sure it was an adventure. I bet Russia loves Boris. I don't care about Boris. Parliam- Parliamentary coup. You know what? I think that the English people will deal with that issue themselves. No one needs to point fingers at them. No one needs to ridicule, to say anything. Hey, you know what? Things happen. Ferrari guy, do you sometimes consider distant plan B even if it's not realistic? I have four plans A, B, C, and D, and they're all realistic actually. Don't think that the plan B is somewhere far away, you know. I had one in COVID, I have one in now. I just don't know whether it's going to work out or not, but I certainly am prepared. Russell Chapman, be aware of false hope and saying you're okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. That's true too. Garage boy, I left my country at 45 years old. I started my own business and could not be happier. Wow, this is fantastic. Fantastic. It's really great to hear that someone leaves at 45 and, is happy. Thank Great example. Thank you so much. Thank you. William Handy, my son went to UC Davis. Homeboy, I also went to UC Davis. Only for one semester, like summer session, but used to be a UC Davis student. I lived in, I think it was Sycamore Avenue or something like that, in the dorm. What a fantastic school, let me tell you. There's so many students. One very interesting thing about UC Davis, the Davis in general, people were so proud that every student has a bike or had a bike there because it's just a huge campus and you have to have a bike to go back and forth. The car is not convenient, but the bike is perfect. So everyone kept telling us, oh, you know what? This is the bicycle capital of the world. We have over 20,000 bicycles. And I couldn't understand that. And I said, what about Beijing? Over 8 million bicycles at the time. I thought that was the bicycle capital of the world. And people would just look at me like I was spoiling their party or something. And they would be just like, why'd you say that? I didn't understand completely the American culture, I was like, because the Beijing is the capital, like bicycle capital of the world. That was pretty funny. There's another super chat from Lynette McLean. Thank you so much. No message, but $50 is a message strong enough. Thank you so much. Mama Tiff, I couldn't imagine if I had kids and lit my spouse. I may we learn to be a global community. Indeed. Cancel. Go where exactly? I understand the love and understanding for Ukrainians, but what Russian? And you know what? I see the point, and that's one of the things to consider. Look, I understand very, very well that Russians are not welcomed in most countries. Gosh, most European countries have decided to stop issuing visas for Russians. They have closed airspace for Russians. They're taking it hard onto Russian people. But let's say if tomorrow KGB knocks on my door, what should I do? Like, should I stay and go get locked up, or should I run, or think about this? I would run. I hope they don't. Okay, but most Russians run. I mean, Um, it's not a matter what it's not. It becomes not a matter of who will take you. It becomes a matter who you run from. You know. Luke King, thank you so much. If you immigrated to a good place with lots of Russians to maintain your language, friendship, and cultural ties, would you still miss Russia? At this point, I would not miss Russia if I emigrated to a place where they do not speak Russians and there are no Russians around. Um, I've had enough of Russia in terms of I've filled my needs with my motherland. You know, when I was 20, 21, 25, I really missed it madly, but I wouldn't miss it now as much. And the world has become much smaller place. There's internet, there are messengers. I could not even make a call to my parents. $1, a 1 minute call cost $3. All I could afford 10 minutes every Saturday. Okay, and that drove me absolutely insane. Now I can talk anytime, any whatever I want. I can use computer, messengers, whatever. Gosh, I speak to my mom daily, and she's in Rostov sometimes, and I'm in Moscow or in Uzbekistan, and it feels like we're right next to one another. And might as well I can be in California, she can be in Australia. It'd be the same thing, you know. So I wouldn't care about Russian language and Russian culture and Russians around me. I'm past that. Galaxy Rider, that's it. I'm going to McDonald's. Have a Big Mac meal for me, please. Say hi to McDonald's from me personally, please. Garage Boy, my kids graduated college and have great jobs now. You can do it. I know I can do it. Yes. It's just not such an easy decision to do. Luke King, have you considered migrating to North Korea? One of my nephews is in South Korea. She landed herself a modeling contract and she's working in South Korea. Likes it there very much. Olivier McCarthy, thank you so much for the super chat. I see it's from Australia. No matter what the outcome of this current crisis, I just don't see a good outcome for Russia in either scenario. Whatever the outcome, there needs to be more some self-reflection. That's not a question, it's a statement, and I could not agree with it. You're spot on. Unfortunately and sadly. Michael Sullivan, thank you so much of thinking of me. Inside Russia, check time, 10 minutes, 5 minutes to go. William, goodbye. Julia Haney, I am late, but I'm excited to go back and listen to everything. Thank you, Julie. Praying time in a couple of minutes, yes. Um, let me summarize before we go to pray. If you ever immigrate, leave your country for another country, I wish you first kind of immigration, the sausage immigration, the immigration out of curiosity, out of seeking new possibilities and opportunities, okay? The happy immigration. And I wish that you never ever have to go through forced immigration where you just have to leave everything behind and go to a new place you don't know where. So please, please have the first kind of immigration. It's actually fun. And every time you see a person who had to leave his or her country, who has been a forced immigrant, seeking an asylum or I don't know, anything, stop, pause, and smile at that person. Wish him or her well. Um, Shake their hand, because those people, they have gone through a lot. Okay? Um, please do that. I would like to invite everyone to pray. Let's do it. Dear God, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for food that you put on our tables, for the roofs over our heads, and for the loved ones, for the people that you've surrounded us with. Please help Ukraine. Stop the bloodshed. Please hear us. We pray every single day, and we ask for this very issue. Please stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Reach out and touch people who make decisions. Please open their hearts and fill them with love, mercy, compassion, forgiveness, so they decided to stop it. I'm asking for Russian President Vladimir Putin, please open his heart and fill it with love, compassion, mercy, and remorse. Give him forgiveness and give him, soften his heart, so he makes decision to stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Please send angels to every single person in Ukraine. Help keep out of harm's way so there's no more bloodshed. I would like to ask to give us wisdom, us parents, wisdom to raise our children in a way that when they grow up, they make this world a better place. We'll never fight with one another. Please give our children health, so they're healthy and they feel good all the time. I would like to ask for women who are pregnant and in the process of making decision whether to keep baby or not. Please talk to every single one and open her heart so she makes the right decision. I am also asking to help to people who had to flee their countries, who are in the process of asking for political asylum or for any kind of help for that matter, who are up in the air. Please give them stability, give them answers. Do not leave them, please. Be with them, surround them with your love, comfort them and give them strength. Please help them. And people who are settled but had to leave their countries in the past, give them forgiveness. Give them ability to forget, bad things that happened to them in the past. And give them ability to become dissolve in the new cultures, accept and embrace new cultures, and feel happy in the new cultures. Thank you for bringing us into this virtual community. It's not so virtual because we're real people sitting in front of cameras or TV screens or computer screens, telephone screens. Thank you for creating this community, and thanks for bringing us together to pray. Please answer everyone's prayer who is praying with us in this live stream, and answer everyone's who is not praying but watching us pray. Answer their prayers as well and their wishes. Make their wishes come true. I would like to ask for a few people. They need your help. They are Nine Veka, Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie and Igor, Buzz, Anne, Jean-Paul, Paula, Janine, Michael, Marlene, Narnian Lady, Susan S., Freddie, Moby One, Paul, Stephen, Ellen, Madeline, Susan, Fiona, Priscilla, Donald from Wisconsin asking for himself and his country, the United States of America, Bruce, Liz, Ariana, Kayleen, Thomas, Michael, Tonya, Bob, Jessica, Minute to Midnight. I also pray for countries of NATO and Russia so they get together and negotiate and come up with a peace solution for this bloodshed. I'm also asking for all people who are praying right now and who are sick with COVID-19, please give them cure and make them feel better. And I'm also praying, asking for 3 children, Maverick, Sebastian, and Britzel. They're not feeling too well. Families are asking for your help to perform a miracle, especially for Britzel, who has cancer. And please show us your miracle, shine upon us, upon her and her family, and bring her back home, please. Dear Jesus, amen. My friends, I hope you liked the message today. I hope you learned something from me. It's been a good stream. Thank you so much for coming. A couple announcements. There will be no live stream on Saturday. I've decided not to go around Russia and stream and do lighthearted streams because they might be lighthearted for you, but not so lighthearted for me. It's become increasingly difficult for me to stream regular, peaceful Russian life. I'm very sorry, but I'm going to not stream on Saturdays, and the rest of the days are as usual. This coming Saturday, I'm going to have 2 streams, one for sponsors only, one for patrons only, as of my way of saying thank you and showing my appreciation for becoming sponsors and patrons and supporting me. Thank you so much. So there's a message as usual tomorrow, and then a couple sponsors and patron streams on Saturday, and the usual message on Sunday. Thank you so much again. I'll see you soon.